Welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Devereaux.
And we are here for episode 199. Paul, unfortunately, is not with us tonight. He is not feeling so well. I don't want to get into the specifics, but he is sick, so he won't be here tonight. So we have Devereaux filling in once again for Paul. That's 2 in the last 3 weeks. So welcome back. It's been a long while since you've been here. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. Let's start with, I guess the first thing I'm sure everyone's going to want to know is...
maybe something about...
Where are the cookies, right?
Yes.
We've got cookies. We've got cookies for everybody. Who wants a cookie? Anybody?
I want to try one.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to have one too.
Gross.
Oh, great.
I don't get any.
It tastes delicious.
These are great.
Throw you one?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He caught it. He caught it. I can confirm that.
Now I'm going to have to
Touchdown.
talk. Cookies. For those of you who have no idea why we're having cookies, there was a bet that the Sharks were going to get a 3-game win streak. And going back to last week against the Rangers, so we'll talk about that in the first game, the Sharks beat the Rangers in overtime to get that 3-game win streak. So they extended one of their few 2-game win streaks into a 3-game win streak. Thus proving my point that the Sharks would get a 3-game point streak at some point this season. I'm going to have to finish this. It's delicious.
I was wrong. I thought it would come a little bit later in the season. I think I was thinking February, but they got it before then.
Close enough, man.
Yeah. And now we have cookies.
Now we got cookies.
Thank you, Aaron, for making these.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate it.
I have to wash that down. All right. Back to it. All right. New York Rangers. This is a game that I think... when Paul and I talked about it last week, he was like, there's no way we're going to play or beat the Rangers to get that 3-game win streak. And I wasn't so sure. I actually didn't think Shesterkin was going to be starting. I thought it was going to be their backup, which is Quick. Jonathan Quick.
Oh, yeah.
Since he had the history of playing the Sharks so many times. Shesterkin actually has not been playing very well in the last month or so. And I only know this because he's on my fantasy team in one of my leagues, and he's been killing my team. But one of the top goalies in the league, and also one of the goalies that plays the most games in the league.
Yes.
One of the workhorses there. So he got the start, and Blackwood got the start for the Sharks. Rangers go up quick, 2 goals. They're up 2-0, and everyone's thinking, oh boy, here we go.
Here we go again.
This is the end of the streak. We're not going to see cookies on the Fin Factor. But, so let's see. Fox scores in the beginning, in the first period. And then Panarin scores in the second period to go up 2-0. Now, one thing that the Sharks did very well in this game is their penalty kill, I think, went 3 for 3. That's the phenomenal. New York Rangers have a very deadly power play. Yes. One of the top in the league, I believe. So, good on the Sharks for killing off their 3 penalties or 3 power plays. Third period comes around. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Sorry. I'm not going off my notes here. So before we get to that part, Logan Couture and Nico Sturm come back. I think this is part of the reason why the Sharks were on their third 3-game winning streak. Introducing those guys back, and I've been a big proponent of that the Sharks are going to get better. And we talked about this 2 weeks ago when you were here, how Chicago was getting worse.
Yes. And
the Sharks were getting better because they're going to be getting some of their better players back.
Captain.
Yeah, especially the captains, Couture and Sturm up the middle. They're going to help. Just winning faceoffs is a big deal. So defensively, they are going to get better, and they have. We do not have a video clip, but we do have an audio clip here of this is Blackwood talking about the game and the kind of impact that having Couture and Sturm back in the lineup, in the locker room, whatever, just around the guys. This is why I think they went on this little 3-game win streak here. So here it is, the audio from Blackwood after the game.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I mean, obviously you saw the performance Capo had last night. He played incredible. That was amazing to see. And then, having a guy like Coots around and Sturm, it's huge for us. We need guys like that, and then they're leaders in the room. So, it feels good. There's a good energy, and we just hope to keep it rolling.
Going back to Nico Sturm, he got... what was it? Cut in 4 checks on 4 checks in on the deep, and when the puck was in deep. Man, I can't even talk tonight.
Drunk off the cookies.
Yeah, the cookies are just throwing me off here. They look so good.
I know.
Gunnan's forechecking and forces a turnover, and Sturm comes off the bench and he intercepted it behind the net and he shot it off of the back of Shesterkin's leg, and it was early.
If you haven't seen this goal, you need to go look at it. The angles is so tight, and it doesn't seem like there's any way for that puck to get in there, but it sneaks in, and the Sharks found an opening.
Right, and that was
back in.
early
Yes.
in the third period. So you get a little momentum. This is at home, so the Sharks fans have something to cheer about. This was only 2 minutes into the third period. And roughly 2 minutes later, Ryan Carpenter gets the tying goal with, 2 more minutes later. So it was a little tip-in goal here. Let's see what Paul actually put these notes down here. Carpenter ties it with a tip on Ruta Bomb, 4:27 into the third period. Not to discredit them, but Ruta and Vlasic have been on a little tear lately, scoring goals, which these are the guys that didn't have any goals 3 weeks ago.
I know.
I think we talked about it. I think in the next game we'll talk about it, but Vlasic got his third goal in that game, and he got an assist here, and who's the other one that got assist? I just said it. Ruta got the other assist.
Yeah.
So these guys are not known for their scoring. This is like defensive defenseman here getting some points on the board. Vlasic's more of a two-way than a defensive defenseman, but Ruta definitely does not really have that much offense in him. But anyway, regardless, the Ruta gets the assist here. We go into overtime and kind of back and forth a little bit.
Yes, chances both ways for sure. But in the end,
again, Ruta, another assist. Barabanov takes it. Ruta is kind of open up. It's kind of a 2-on-1.
Yes.
Passes it to Ruta. Ruta slots it right over to Hurdle, and
Perfect.
he buries it. Just buries it in overtime.
He was patient with his pass too, because it seemed like he could have passed it a little bit faster, right away. But it was like that split second to freeze the goalie, and then just now there's that space that he needs to now compensate to slide all the way over to block the shot. Not there. Hurdle takes his time, just roofs it. There you go.
Yeah, game. Win. 3-game win streak, and here's our cookies.
And now we get cookies.
That play, though, the Sharks were they were going for it because they had everybody forward. If Shesterkin made a save, or if they missed the net, or if that puck rims around, gone. That's going to be probably a 2-on-0, maybe even a 3-on-0 coming back the other way. So Blackwood gets a win at home, and the Sharks go on a 3-game win streak.
He had a really good game. That game, he gave up 2 goals, but there were so many saves that he really shouldn't have made. But in saying that, he has proven this season that he can make those plays, those saves in those critical moments, but he did it again.
I feel like Blackwood's been kind of doing that most of the year. I think the last month Kraken has been playing better than Blackwood, but Blackwood's having his moments, and getting the win here I think is huge for him against a very good New York Rangers team. And this is kind of what I was thinking of how Jonathan Quick was going to be playing against the Sharks because he played against them so much. Blackwood was in New Jersey for so many years playing against the Rangers so much because they're in the same division. That same kind of deal here. And not that really matters. I mean, there's some carryover of some of the guys that he's been playing against for years. But regardless, he puts up a very good game against the New York Rangers. And believe me, when you play very well against big teams like the Rangers, or in the spotlight like they did when they're on the road trip in Montreal and Toronto, and you play well, teams are noticing. There are scouts everywhere. The trade deadline is coming up in about a month.
Yep.
Yeah. We're going to have the All-Star break coming up in next weekend. And I can't remember off the top of my head if there is a trade freeze. I think there might be, where you can't get moved during the All-Star game.
Everything just freezes. Okay.
But a lot of the GMs are together during the All-Star break. And you better believe they are all talking. All of them. Kind of like when they get together for their GM meeting, I think is in late October. They usually all get together and kind of talk about the rules and the game and see if they want to make any changes. And that's not really like, they're not making any changes then. It's more proposing what they could talk about later and what they're seeing and what they want to do. But again, you put a bunch of GMs in the room. They're going to talk.
Stuff's going to be happening.
They're good. Yeah,
deals are starting to be worked.
Exactly. You're greasing the wheels there, and things are going to be happening. All it takes is one GM to go, you know what? I really like the way that Kakinen has been playing, and we've been looking for another goalie.
You know what? Let's continue this.
But they're going to say that to Greer. They're going to say, you know what, Greer? If anyone offers anything on Kakinen, let me know before you pull the trigger, and I will counter it, or I will offer something more. or we'll figure it out. Things like that. So those kind of not deals necessarily, but conversations are being had. The seeds are being planted.
Yes.
Now Greer goes, okay, I know this guy is interested in Kakinen. I know this guy's interested in Kakinen. Maybe a couple more, and let's see what the best deal I can get for the Sharks.
For the team.
Yep. So things will be happening,
Soon.
and I think we're going to start seeing some trades in the coming weeks. Going into the next game, this is the day game at Buffalo, and I was at this game, as was super producer Jason. I brought my son to the game, which is pretty cool because the game was at 1 p.m., so I could actually bring my kids to one of the games. And we had the giveaway. Here we go. I didn't pull it out of the bag, but it's the. I'm gonna pull it out of here. Sorry, the sound is terrible on my microphone. You didn't even pull it out of here. This is the bucket hat giveaway that they had for the game. Get rid of that. There we go. Here's one side, and then it's reversible, and it's got kind of rainbow. I guess it's rainbow, more tie-dye rainbow, and I don't know if you can get that logo in there. This is the new logo. It was for the Pride game, and it was designed for. I believe they had the jerseys on or warm-up jerseys during the game or before the game, and then they auctioned those off. So it's kind of a not necessarily game worn, but
still.
But the players wore it. So and then they auctioned those off for charity.
And the logo, I feel like last time I was here 2 weeks ago, the logo was a mystery, right? So it wasn't revealed until.
I think it was revealed maybe a week ago.
Okay, gotcha.
They didn't it was just rendering, right? I think it said logo coming or something, or to be determined. I don't know. Last time we were on the show, we showed it. They didn't have it yet. So yeah, that was new, and I think it's fantastic. And I don't know if that's kind of too far away, but great logo, and I like it, but I also really love the one from last season. In fact, I wore it to the game. I had my sweatshirt on, and it had the logo. And it's funny is last year they only had it on the jerseys that they wore for warm-ups, and they didn't have them yet for anything else. They didn't have a giveaway. I don't think they had a giveaway last year with it on, but they released over the summer the logo on merchandise. So I was like, oh, they had it on T-shirts, they had it on a jersey, they had it on. So I didn't want to get a jersey; it's kind of too expensive. I didn't want to get a shirt because I thought the shirt was kind of too expensive for a shirt.
Got it.
But a sweatshirt wasn't that much more. I want to say it was $50, which is fair.
Yeah, it's
for
fair.
A
For a sweatshirt, yes.
But it's one of my favorite sweatshirts, and it's one of the ones my go-to now for Sharks games. And I wore it to the game on Saturday, so I love it. It says love on it. I'm not like poo-pooing this logo. The other logo I like too, but it has love on it. It has the sticks, I think, crisscrossing, and it's got rainbow tape on it.
Okay.
And anyway, it always makes people happy because every time I wear it, everyone goes, "Oh, is that a Fin Factor sweatshirt?" And I go, No, it's actually a Sharks one, but I wish we had this one because it's so nice. But anyway, people love it, and I got a lot of compliments on it at the game on this last weekend. So it was great. Anyway, let me. I have not looked at any of these clips here. Can you do the rustling of that package again? Here you go, Grandizer. Is that good? That's gonna be great for the podcast. Everyone's gonna love that. It's so loud. Debbie Smith is here. Debbie, I made the cookies today. Sorry, Debbie. You're going to have to make them for next week.
Yes, they're excellent.
Yeah, not bad. You want another one? You can have another one. I won't judge. Go for it.
I'm good if I have another one.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's talk about this Buffalo game. Buffalo game didn't end so well. Kind of the opposite of what happened at the Rangers game.
Did it start well?
They started well. The Sharks go up 2-0.
2-0.
And then Buffalo comes storming back and scores 5 unanswered goals to lose or to beat the Sharks 5-2.
How they scored those goals was not heartbreaking, but it was just a gut punch after gut punch. It's like a fighter. You get staggered maybe a little bit. Okay, you got to regroup. You get knocked down, standing 8 count. And the Sharks were up 2-0, as Aaron alluded to, and things are looking good. Saves are happening. They're laying hits. They're winning pucks, all that stuff. Right before the end of the first period, they give up a goal, and it's okay. Going into the intermission, going to the locker room. Okay, we gave up a goal. We're still up. this is what we need to do in the second period.
Actually, they tied it before.
Oh,
that's right.
I
right.
apologize.
That's okay.
That's right. Ooh,
That's even
I
worse.
wish I know. I know. It was too quick. Yeah.
There's 2 quick
That's
ones
right.
towards the end. Yeah.
And to start the second period, then they gave up another one. It's 3-2. You're behind now. A place they're very familiar with.
Yes. Unfortunately.
But they weren't able to pull out the comeback. JJ Peterka,
Yes.
Alex
He
Tuck,
got 2 goals. Yeah. Tuck got a goal.
Greenway, Cousins, I think, had an empty net. So 5-2.
I still don't like Tuck because he was
Oh,
from
no.
Vegas.
Oh, yeah. No.
He barely even played for Vegas.
Nah,
I just
still.
can't stand him. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's all of us.
No, I don't like him either.
Yeah.
It's cookies.
Just a
I
big
like. Tuck, not so much.
All right, I'm just seeing if there's any comments in here. But one good thing about this game, Shakir Mukhamadullin, his first NHL game. He's part of the trade that came over from New Jersey when Timo Meier got traded to New Jersey. This was a big piece because a lot of people were upset that it was Mukhamadullin coming back and not. There were 3 other kind of higher end prospects that New Jersey had that they wanted to come back. I didn't know much about this guy. He was playing at the time. He was playing in Russia. He was in the KHL.
Okay.
He came over and was playing for the Barracuda at the end of last year after the KHL ended. So he got a little bit of playing time in the AHL, and then coming from Russia and into North America hockey, it's different because they play on the international ice.
Yeah.
In Russia, it's wider.
Way
yeah,
bigger surface.
So it's a bigger ice sheet. It's more space, so it's kind of there's less hitting and less physical. It's less of a physical game because there's more space.
So much space.
Yeah. So it takes a bit of an adjustment, and it happens for pretty much every player that comes over from North America. It happened to Eklund as well. He had to adjust for a while. Anyway, he comes over and plays almost, half the year now with the Barracuda. And he didn't start off so great at the Barracuda, but his last month and a half, almost 2 months, he's been lighting the AHL on fire as a defenseman, scoring, playmaking, whatever, getting his points.
Yeah.
So he's been doing very well. I think he was kind of rewarded in a way. Granted, Ferraro's out and hurt, so they kind of pull somebody up. So they ended up pulling him up, and he gets his first NHL game, gets his first little ice skate around. I don't know if you know this, but everyone skates when it's their first NHL game. You do 1 lap by yourself when you come out on the ice. So they always do that. That's what they joked with Couture, because Couture hadn't played this season.
Oh, and
they're like, "Are you going to give him 1 lap around?" And he's like, "No, they better not do that." It would have been funny if they did. In fact, this week, Marc-Andre Fleury for Minnesota, I think, played in his 1,000th game. And the team stopped and let him skate out by himself, and he was like pissed off about it. He's like, "Come on, guys!
Come on, I'm not a rookie."
So anyway, it's kind of a little tradition there, going back, I guess, for a long time. So anyway, Mukhamadullin gets his first game. He plays a game high 28 shifts, more than any other defenseman, more shifts than any, not ice time, but shifts.
It was close on ice time though.
Yes, he had 9. Let me pull up the actual stats here.
I think he was the 3rd defenseman. Off by like a couple seconds, and I think probably top 5 overall in the whole team.
Yeah.
They just threw him right in.
He did. Trial by fire, huh? Jan Ruta is the only one that had more ice time, and Emerson just had slightly more ice time. Emerson was at 1947. Mukhamadulin's at 1921, so he had an extra half a shift. Yeah. And Ruta had 21 minutes, probably because he was killing so many penalties. But, he did not look out of place. I thought he looked pretty good. He didn't. I wouldn't say he dominated the game, but he definitely didn't look out of place. I don't think.
And going back to his time with the Barracuda, I saw him recently, earlier this month. They played the Tucson Roadrunners, I believe, and he had 2 assists. The Barracuda won 6-4. They got that monkey off their back. They had lost, I think, 3 straight to Tucson. But no, he looked good in that game.
He's a very big guy.
Yeah,
I think he's 6'3" or 4. I'm pulling it up right now. 6'4", and can skate.
And
So that's kind of a rare breed, and this is exactly the kind of player that Greer wants. I think definitely on the back end, he's looking to get some size, because the Sharks, before Greer was here, the Sharks did not have size. They kind of went more athletic, smaller.
Finesse, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and less physical and less large bodies. Mukhamadullin, when he was drafted, they kind of said that he was a raw talent. So he needed a lot of work. he was good. He was going to be good, but you can't teach size. You can't make someone bigger,
taller,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't make someone who's big who can skate. You can't really teach the skating as well either. Like you maybe increase a little bit,
Tweaks,
but not like
you have it or you don't.
Exactly. So taking those raw skills of both his size, power, and skating ability was one of the main reasons that Mike Greer went after Mukhamadullin and not, I think Nemec is the other one that's in New Jersey. Some people are a little upset about that, but man, going back to that trade, the Timo Meier trade, everyone was saying how Mike Greer got fleeced and he should be fired and gone out of San Jose. And right now he's looking really good. You have Zetterlund, who is, let me double check the stats here if he's still leading the Sharks, but he was up there at the top with Tomas Hertl in goal scoring, and Hertl has 1 because of the overtime goal. Yeah. So he's in second right now, leading the Sharks in goal scoring. Then you get Mukhamadullin, who just had his first NHL game. Then you have the first-round draft pick that became, blanking on his name now, Quentin Musty,
yes,
who is going to be a fantastic player, and I still think we're going to see him at the end of the season. He's already signed his contract almost like instantly with the Sharks, so he's already got his entry-level contract. As soon as the OHL season is over, I think we're going to see him come up to the Sharks for a couple games. Couple other pieces in there. So, and they still have a second-round draft pick for this upcoming draft. It's still paying off. Even if you didn't have that, it's like it's starting to look like that Timo Meier trade is heavily favoring the San Jose Sharks.
I can see that as well.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that game or Mukhamadullin?
Coming off the Rangers game, I did think that they would put out a better effort. I don't know if it was the time. Buffalo's a good team. They have a lot of offensive firepower. Okay, we understand that. But I just thought, again, 2-goal lead right before the intermission. You give up the lead. It's still tied. You come out flat. Now it's 3-2. You're behind again. And they're just not able to. Well, if they had won 4 in a row, what would we have gotten? Banana splits? What are we doing?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe we could talk about that if they get a 5-game streak.
Oh, okay. Let's.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, okay.
And do we count shootouts and overtime wins for that?
Oh, no, we need to count that.
Overtime, yes. Shootouts, I don't think we should.
Okay.
I mean, we did. But Grandizer said, that Sabres game, did the Sharks start to play uninspiring hockey? Did they get the memo after the first, hey, we're tanking here, guys, don't try to back it in? I don't think so. I think the Sharks were just, I mean, that was they had so many games and so many nights pretty close together.
You think the start time affected anything?
Actually, no, I take that back. They had a break in between. So they had a long ways, and then they had a break, and I don't know. I think it's just, I mean, Buffalo's a good team. I don't want to discredit them too much. To me, the Rangers, if you look at all the Rangers, the post-game on the Rangers' perspective, it's the Rangers gave that game away. They played terribly, which they probably did, because they probably played down to the Sharks' level, and the Sharks, their hard work paid off. Especially Nico Sturm. We talked about Nico Sturm coming back. That is a very typical Nico Sturm goal of nothing but hard work and getting in that position, skating your butt off. Because how many times have we seen other Sharks players doing the same thing, but just that split-second hesitation or not following through,
commitment.
Right?
Oh, I got to go.
Exactly. Go. And it pays. It pays off. You're going to get there just in time to score just in time.
And also, if let's say you would lose out that battle, but now it's in that player's mind, oh, they're going to come the next time. Mm-hmm. I got to be on my game.
And it forces the other team to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because now they're under a lot more pressure. Yeah. So, again, Nico Sturm coming back and Couture coming back. Nico Sturm is that he doesn't take a shift off. He is hardworking every single time, skating hard. It's infectious. It goes throughout the lineup because everyone else is going to see him doing it and getting success from it. So they're going to do it. So the team has definitely gotten better with those two back. Sorry, I'm trying to read some of these comments in here. Scotty K, Sharks are going to retire Jumbo's jersey to the rafters. That's right. They announced that. I think we talked about this last week, but we also talked about last week other players that would possibly get retired here. Now, the only three maybe, I'd say 2 and maybe a third that we would talk about, or that we talked about, is Joe Pavelski.
Okay.
He's still playing, so that's not going to happen while he's playing. Evgeny Nabokov.
Navi.
And who's the other one? Owen Nolan is the other one. See, I don't think Owen Nolan played long enough. He did a lot for the Sharks.
He did in a short amount of time. But, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think he put the Sharks, maybe not necessarily on the map, but...
More eyeballs for sure. This is a legit team. This is a legit franchise. Look at what I'm doing here.
He was on the cover of NHL 98 or 2000. Might have been 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2000.
That All-Star game was on.
Yeah, and the All-Star game.
gosh.
Yeah, the All-Star game, which we have the mask for right here from this All-Star game in San Jose from 90... What was this? 96? 96, yeah, from the portal. Just found this in the back here, just hanging out. That's when we called his shot against...
Yeah.
Was it Dominik Hasek?
Ooh, yeah.
I think it was Dominik Hasek.
He's like, yeah, I'm going
His
right there.
hat-trick goal calls
Yes,
the shot.
I'm going right there,
Puts
baby.
him in the corner, scores a goal, and still doesn't get the MVP of the
I
game.
know,
Like,
no.
come on, man. What
I
else? What
remember-
did he have to do?
Called his yeah, I'm going right here, baby.
He had to get a rooster trick, apparently, to get it. All right, so, Grandizer, here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go again. Please retire Owen Nolan's jersey to at least that Ring of Honor here. Saw where some make the case for Ricci's jersey to get retired too. Again, Ricci, I don't think so. Definitely not enough time. He was injured a lot. He had back problems and missed a lot of games. Yeah. So, again, had the Sharks won a cup with any of these guys, absolutely.
Everyone's up.
and again, what I said last week, if they win a cup with Marleau and Thornton and Pavelski, those guys are getting statues, not their numbers retired, and their numbers retired.
Yeah.
But Patrick Marleau is in the Ring of Honor. He just got inducted this year, or I guess in the end of 2023. So this season, he's in the Ring of Honor. So when you walk around the arena towards the, I want to say it's the 208 side of the arena. I could be wrong. They have these bronze kind of plaques up. And it's kind of like Hall of Fame of
yeah.
San Jose area.
Not just sports, just, yeah.
Yeah, not just sports. Or not just, not players either.
Yes.
Not just players. So, Marleau just went in. Chris Wondolowski of the Earthquakes just went in. There's some other notable names in there. Brandy Chastain is there. Like
Makes
all
sense.
these, anyone who's been in San Jose has been any kind of committed or done anything with the teams, right? They're going to be in there. So, I could see that. I could see Thornton going in there. Yeah, Paul, I see Dev upgraded to the polo. That's right, Paul.
Paul's not going to work here anymore.
Slowly going to get replaced.
Yes, Paul, thank you.
He's got Paul's dad's shoes, too.
I do not have that. Not yet. Not yet.
Devereaux's going to go home with a toaster today, though. Yeah, remember how many... Peter St. John, remember how many jerseys the original 6 teams have up in the rafters? It's a big deal. Personally, I think Pavelski has a chance, not the others. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think, to me, the front runners would be Pavelski and Nabokov. But I also don't want to retire so many numbers because then you run out of so many numbers.
Also, we can't retire everyone's number.
Right.
Like, what did you do? I know, great players. We liked you a lot. You helped us go to the playoffs, deep runs, all that stuff. It's like the one for it's the highest it's the highest honor.
Right.
We can't just let everybody in because then it kind of dilutes the.
Exactly. Kind of like how the Hall of Fame kind of gets slowly diluted. Maybe not so much NHL, but other sports. It just slowly gets diluted.
We can't let everybody in. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Triple digits now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What are you going to do?
do?
Decimal points? Be 12.1.
Squared, square root sign. We can't.
Yeah. Eventually you run out of numbers.
Yes.
I don't,
Letters?
Letters, yeah.
Just logos. Just symbols. Just random symbols.
Like Prince.
Yes.
Into that symbol.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul just said, I'd rather hold off till there's a very worthy player to put in the Raptors. To me, it would be more of winning a cup, like the captain winning a cup, and assuming it's the captain who's probably been there for a long time. Kind of like Couture, if Couture wins the cup, and I'm not saying to retire Couture's number. I'm not saying that, but who knows, How about we put their name in a giant font and their number is a small font so other players can use the number. The name is important.
I've never heard that before.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the third jersey. The San Jose Sharks just released this week their new third jersey. So before they had the stealth jersey, that was their other black jersey that they had that was revealed when Carlson had just joined the team. So it had been a while.
I like those.
I did too. I liked them. I thought they looked sharp. I wasn't so sure when I first saw them. I'm like, man, that's really dark. It's gonna look weird on the ice, but it popped. It looked really good. To me, the teal popped off of it because it was so blacked out.
Yeah,
that the teal was.
They gave it that background for it to pop and shine. Yeah.
And I like the way it looked. A lot of people get really weird about jerseys. I'm not going to get too much into jerseys because I don't really care. Like
the comments are going to start going.
Exactly. Like some people really care. I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like they keep track of the record of if they wear those jerseys and when they don't.
Wow.
And
okay, I believe that. I can see that.
That's a little too tinfoil hat for me. So, however, we have a little clip here of the new jerseys, and to kind of set this one up here, it's kind of interesting. We had Doug Bentz on the show during the draft party. This was back in June when the Sharks drafted Will Smith and Quentin Musty, and we had a bunch of people coming and going during the show. Doug Bentz is the chief marketing officer, CMO of the San Jose Sharks. So he's in charge of the whole everything, these hats, everything, right? Any kind of marketing stuff, all the giveaways, all the stuff. He was very excited. So one thing that I've always loved with the Sharks logo is the shoulder patch on the old school logo, or the old school jersey. I don't even think I have a sample here of it or not. Or I guess here. No, here. I've always liked this, and I talked to him about it at the show, and just watch his reaction here when I mention it.
Are you? Okay.
One of my favorite logos is the shoulder patch, the Finn shoulder patch, and I want that on a hat. And they have it in the store. I just didn't buy it yet, but I'm going to be buying it. That's probably my favorite logo. I would love, not that you have anything to do with this, but a jersey, a third jersey with just the Finn logo in the middle. I think that looks cool.
Did that? They had a jersey like that. It was a practice or warm up, something like that. Yeah. Where they had that big, and I'm like, Aaron's gonna love this.
Yeah,
so
I did.
So that Finn's called technically the Evolve Fin.
Okay.
And if you like it, you're gonna have a good year.
That one's called the Evolve Fin?
It's called the Evolve Fin because it got introduced with our last year's primary jersey set. It was called the Evolve jersey.
Okay.
And so that fin was part of that.
I also love the fin on the original, old school jersey too. That logo, which
so it was an evolution of the original. Hence the Evolve.
I like both.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Part of the Evolve jersey.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to say Doug Bentz. Listen to me. This stuff was already done. It was already done at that point. He's kind of like, his words, if you like that logo, you're gonna have a good year, and I'm loving it. So that was, I don't know if you noticed, but in the back, the center ice wasn't even painted yet.
Not yet.
And they used this. It's on the cup here. This logo is at center ice, which they've never done before either. They always had the Sharks head biting the stick. So they used that logo at first, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks really good." Like it's different, but it's familiar.
Yeah, you know exactly what it is. You're instant recognizability. Yeah, bam, right there.
And the colors are all there. Like everything it's really good and really sharp. So when these came out, I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. I'm so excited because it's my favorite logo, as I just explained about in that clip.
He listened to you.
He did listen. Thank you, Doug Bentz. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I forgot where I was going to go with that, but
you got lost in the fin.
I did.
Your dream came true.
Going back to that jersey, they are going to be wearing it for the next almost the last of the home games. Like it's going to be all of February and into March. Okay. It's going to be there. And he explained it in I don't know if it was in that clip or not because we didn't actually get to hear it in studio, but they wanted to, before they've released that jersey, so the Stealth jersey came out during FanFest, and then they were selling them, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle, and then they wear them sporadically throughout the year, and there are certain days. Now it's got its own time frame, which was this week, and it's exciting because I think they did this on purpose too, because they knew the Sharks were not going to be good, right? So it's something to talk about.
Yes, something to talk about, something new.
Something positive to talk about. So they release it this week. They're going to be wearing it for the next month or so. So it gives us its own stage and platform to look at. And I think it looks great. And what they were going for is something that was not, like you wear it and it doesn't quite, I mean, it looks like a hockey jersey, but it doesn't scream hockey jersey. It's I think he calls it a lifestyle wear or something like that. Like that's what they were going for.
It's creative.
Something that you'd wear outside of a hockey game and also to broaden the appeal to outside of the hardcore hockey fans. Because right now when the Sharks are terrible, you're not getting bandwagon fans, right? You're losing fans because people are just like, I don't want to watch this. Now's the time to kind of get those people, like, get out your comfort zone of your hardcore fans. The hardcore fans are still going to buy it.
They'll buy anything.
Yeah, exactly. They'll buy everything.
They'll buy everything.
They're going to be like, I don't even want to go where I'm going to go, but they'll buy anything that they put out. So you're trying to get a bigger net out to other people, and this, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think obviously the logo's great because it's one of my favorite logos. In fact, this is the evolution of logo. The one before, I actually like this a little bit better than the one from the original one. It's very similar, but this one has just, I don't know, it's better lines on it.
Okay.
It's not as harsh, I guess, as the original one, but it flows better. It looks really great in that circle, and I can't say enough about it. So anyway, we're going to go into the roll call. So tell us what city you're watching from and what you think if the new third jersey. Do you like it or not? And we'll post those up there. So Scotty K already said the new third jersey is the coolest. I think earlier someone had just said in the very beginning of the show, yeah, it was the best. And Ben and Gunsry, was that Raffi Torres in the front of the car? Yes, they used Raffi Torres in the promotion. They were going with the Latino, I think it was Latino background, which he is.
Yes.
His background is Latino, and it had to do with the striping. You mentioned it before on the before sleeves. We went live. The sleeves kind of have a different type of striping on it, and you'd have to read the details because I'm butchering it like crazy on air right now. But they reached out to him and to see if he wanted to do it. And he said absolutely, and it's kind of funny because we were just talking about Raffi Torres.
I know,
a couple weeks ago, right?
Yes, all the time.
It's so weird. I swear I'm not an insider. I know nothing about any of this stuff that's coming out. It's pure coincidence. Pure coincidence. I swear. In fact, I have tinfoil right there. I should have made a hat out of that and just put it on.
Use the new logo that they haven't released yet.
Man.
That's episode 200.
Yes. Paul asked, isn't Fanatics taking over jerseys next year? Quality has been questionable at best. Yes. However, this jersey is the last that will be made from Adidas. And on top of that, the NHL has a thing in place that when you introduce a new jersey, it has to be used for the next 3 seasons. So even though Fanatics is taking over, Adidas is making that jersey. Adidas, the NHL Fanatics is taking over all NHL jerseys starting next year.
Okay.
So they'll be making the actual authentic jerseys.
Got it.
Adidas has the contract now, so you can buy an Adidas. The new jersey is made by Adidas, which I highly recommend. Fanatics. I don't want to badmouth them too much, but they're awful. Just Google Fanatics.
Awful.
And reviews, and nothing is more than 2 stars. It's so bogus that they got it. But anyway, if you buy, this is funny, if you go in the store, the Adidas Authentic jersey is $180.
Okay.
The Fanatics replica is $175. Why would you get a replica? Why get the real thing that's made by a legit company? Again, I don't want to get too much into the jerseys here, but yeah. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for bringing that up. That's good. Grandizer Phoenix. No, I don't like the new jersey. It's another merch to buy, and I don't make enough to get a jersey every time one drops. At least lower the price. Yeah, I bet you can find a stealth one for cheap now since this one came out. So if you like the stealth one, you can get one of those.
I'll sell him a Carlson one.
Yeah. Super producer Jason has a Carlson jersey if you want it, the stealth jersey. You actually got it for a good price, I think.
50.
Yeah, $50.
Oh,
That was like a year ago. He was still on the team when that happened.
Wow. Tea leaves. You knew what was happening.
Yeah. See any other roll call answers here? They're both replicas. Well, yeah, they're both replicas. But the authentic one has the fight strap attached to it.
Okay.
So NHL or hockey players, they have a strap that attaches to the bottom of their was it their pads? Paul will know. Paul will know exactly what it is. But that's how you can tell the difference between a replica and an authentic jersey. The authentic jersey is supposedly the exact same jersey that the players wear, but who knows,
Fight strap.
Yeah. And Grandizer, I am of the opinion that the logo is not what needs fixed. Fix the product on the ice, win a cup or two, then introduce jerseys. Then they're going to have the same jerseys.
If we take that
Forever.
Forever.
That means they would have the same jersey since 1991 because they've never won a cup. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Tough.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes, don't focus on this, but they have to focus on something positive.
Something.
Because who knows if they're going to get Celebrini, right? You don't know. And they're going to get... Yeah, I know. We'll get into that in a second.
Okay. Yes, I think we should just introduce jerseys every 5 or 6, 7 years. Let's not wait decades before introducing it.
Yeah, but the NHL has that rule: is you have to use it for 3 seasons.
years.
You can't introduce it and then get rid of it within 1 season and
True.
introduce something else because, again, that's not fair to the
To
fans.
the fans, no.
And I feel like I don't know if you follow the Earthquakes much at all, but
Yes.
I feel like they have a jersey every
every
season.
year. Every
Yeah.
year they feel like they have a new jersey. It comes out and they say, look at this new reveal.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just
Yeah,
got the...
I was like, I have the last one. That was great. I just bought it. Ah.
Took a star away.
Oh, no.
Super producer Jason said they took a star away. So, for those that are not in the know for soccer, when you win a championship over your logo, because soccer has their logo here and then their sponsor in the middle, they usually put stars for how many championships they won. The Earthquakes have 2. 2?
Yeah.
2.
2. Yeah.
Should have had more, but the
Should.
team went to Houston. They
Fanatics have
Yes.
won.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole
Yes.
thing.
Fanatics took away a star.
Wow. Wow.
Grandizer trying to take away my money, never positive. I mean, they're good. They're good jerseys. I might buy one, or I might buy other merch that's not a jersey,
Like
like a hat or a shirt or maybe a sweatshirt. I don't know, something I need, or a cup. Yeah, these cups are actually from the arena. So right, yeah. Shh. You're allowed to take them. We didn't steal them. Yeah.
What's in those cookies?
Oh, I'm hungry. I need some more cookies. Anyway, let's talk about the standings. For once, the Sharks are not in last place.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know, but I did forecast this coming, saying Chicago Blackhawks are getting worse.
You did.
They had Bedard. You take out Bedard, their only goal scorer. He's still leading the team in scoring, and he's been out for a couple weeks now. And they're not getting any better. So they're 2-8 in their last 10. The Sharks are 4-5-1. So I feel like the Sharks will be about that 3 or 4 wins every 10 games, and Chicago's just going to go down, down, down. Now the Sharks will start to lose more once the trade deadline comes and some of those guys are
key
out.
players.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think the Sharks will also bottom out, but Chicago is so bad, and I don't even know if they have any players to trade at this point because they've already fire-sailed the whole team.
Yeah.
They've been claiming players off of waivers because they just needed warm bodies. It's just crazy.
All right, come over. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want any of those players on that team. So, Anaheim. I mean, the Sharks are at 30 points. They're tied with Chicago, but they have a game in hand on Chicago, so their win percentage is slightly better. Anaheim is at 36 points. It's only 6 more points, and the Sharks play them this week.
Yep.
They're gonna be playing them right before the All-Star break. Columbus is at 40. Ottawa's at 40. So those 5 teams, I feel like at some point they're going to start kind of leapfrogging each other.
Yeah, jumping around.
Now I fully expect the Sharks to still be in the top 5 pick. I don't know if
Aaron,
Celebrini...
you said top 5. I thought we were going for...
Top 3? Well, top 5 is in... If they're in the bottom 3 and they lose the lottery twice, they could be in the top 5.
Okay.
The worst they could be is top 5.
Yes. So that's what happened last year then.
Exactly what happened last year.
I don't want that to repeat.
Exactly. I know. They were actually in a worse spot because they were in 4th last year.
Yeah.
So they were expected to be 5th or 6th pick, and they ended up staying 4th.
Okay.
They got lucky. In a weird way, they got lucky to get Will Smith.
Okay.
But what? Aaron, please revisit the 68-point discussion. Is that still enough to be 32nd? No, not anymore.
No. Oh yeah. No,
Just Chicago is so bad. Chicago, they're at 30 points at 50 games, so they got another 32 games left. They'll probably get close to 50 points.
50 points, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the Sharks are right there with them. I don't think the Sharks are going to get over 68 points now. It's too far of a hole.
No.
with the 2 10-game losing streaks, I think just obviously buried them.
It
feels like so long ago, right? Like
that was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Literally.
That was a jersey ago. That's old news.
Even better. Yeah. And Peter St. John saying fire sale everything so we can tank. I don't think it's worth it. Like, yeah, Celebrini's going to be a good player, but imagine fire selling everything and then someone wins the lottery. Chicago's probably going to get the lottery. I hate to say it.
Put the hat on. Put the tinfoil hat on.
I hate it. I think it's just. I don't think the Sharks. The Sharks have never had the first overall pick, so I just don't think it's going to come.
We had this discussion 2 weeks ago.
I'm trying to save myself from disappointment. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, I don't want them to go into the draft or into the lottery with the number 1 odds being the worst team and then losing it.
True.
That's worse.
True, that is worse.
If they go in second and they win the lottery and get first,
then it's like wow, look what this found money.
Thank God we weren't as bad as Chicago,
yes.
and we still get the prize.
Fire sale everybody.
I don't think it's worth it. Plus, the returns that you would get on players just by fire selling and getting them out the door, I don't think it's worth it.
But it affects everything else, right? You have these young players coming in. The fans aren't going to be as plentiful. No one's going to be at the games. You're not going to get...
So during this jersey reveal, Mike Greer had kind of a state of the union, I don't know, with season ticket holders. And there's a lot of questions being asked about the future of the team. From what he said, it sounds like 2 to 3 years is when he expects the Sharks. He kind of put a time on it for the first time.
Okay.
Expecting the Sharks to be in a very good... He didn't guarantee it or anything,
yes.
But in a good spot because there's a lot coming off the books in 2 years, in 2 seasons. Let me take a look, actually. I can read off the big salaries here in 2 years. Vlasic is off in 3. That's $7 million. That's huge. In 2 years. That's so not the end of next season. The end of next season. Not the end of this season, the end of next season.
Okay.
$7 million coming off of Vlasic. Kyle Burroughs, another $1 million. Yeah, whatever.
Now, can you do me a favor? Can you just, $7 million, what kind of player does that get you? What is that?
In 2 years from now, I mean, that's a very good player. So if you're giving one player that much money, you're talking, you want defenseman?
Sure, some comps. Just throw some comps for me. And for the people at home.
I mean, that's $7 million is probably going to be at least top 4. Maybe,
okay.
I wouldn't say your top best defenseman, but number 2, number 3 defenseman, which Vlasic is not right now.
No.
So that's a good player, or you split that up.
Yeah.
And you can get a $4 million and a $3 million player, and that's a pretty good player. Like, just for comps on the Sharks currently, who's playing well right now? Luke Cunning's making 2.75.
Wow.
You can get another player like that. I wouldn't say a number 1 winger or anything. I mean, LeBank's making 4.7. Hoffman's making 4.5. Duclair's making 3.
3? Okay. Okay.
Someone,
that helps me. That gives me a better idea.
Couture and Hurdle are at 8.
Makes sense.
You're getting a guy somewhere up there, right? At least in their prime, too.
Yes. Okay.
So in 3 years from now, you're going to have Will Smith is going to be on the team.
Yep.
You're going to have Musty on the team. You're going to have who are these other guys that are young and up and coming. Beestead might be there. We'll see. Haltonen, who was just playing in the World Juniors, and he's got a heck of a slap shot. You got some defensemen that are up and coming, like Jake Furlong is one of them. Gavanki, I think is how you pronounce it. Another one that's up and coming.
I like that. That's a good name.
Yeah. The Sharks have their first round draft pick this season. That will definitely be on the team by then.
Yeah.
They also have... Do they have another one? Pittsburgh's first round draft pick for this season. For this draft, I mean. They still have their own second and New Jersey's second. So that's 4 guys that'll be in the top 60 players of this draft. I mean, the draft's not super deep, not compared to last season, but still, you have a good chance that you're going to get someone. And who knows, by the trade deadline, we might even have some more draft picks or even prospects coming back. So the Sharks are in a very good spot. LeBank's going to come off the books. Yeah, someone just asked about that. LeBanc is coming off the end of this season. So, I mean, at the end of this season, we have a huge turnover.
Okay.
LeBanc, 4.7. Hoffman, 4.5. Duclair, 3. Luke Cunnin is still being RFA, and I think he should resign. He's at 2.7. Barabanov, 2.5. He's still there. And then defenseman, you got Jake McDonald. He's making a little bit. Kakinen, 2.75 for Kakinen.
Wow.
Those guys are all UFAs, so they could either be rental players traded and getting some assets back, or they just don't come back. They don't re-sign next year.
Okay.
Bandit here, Gavanka. I said how did I say? What did I say? Gavanka.
Gavanka.
He's German, not Spanish. Oh, did I say Gavanki?
Yeah, I think you did.
Gavanka. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Bandit.
I don't want to say it all.
I know.
Anyway, I'll throw out some stuff here. Please like and subscribe if you are not already. Thank you, Super Producer Jason. I'm terrible at doing this. Like and subscribe, and if you can find us, if you listen to Spotify, you can find us on Spotify. We're trying to boost those numbers up and get us out there on there. And if you'd like to support the show, you can send us a super chat, or you can even Venmo us at the Fin Factor at, I think it's just the Fin Factor. Again, I'm terrible at this. There we go. The Fin Factor. And if you give us a tip on Venmo, we'll read you the comment either during the show now or while the next show, if you do it in between shows. There you go.
And in the meantime and in between time.
Coming up this week, we have 2 more games before the All-Star break. Tuesday's against Seattle at home, and then Wednesday is in Anaheim. So they go on the road before they take their big, long break. Now, there's 2 ways this could go. The Sharks are either already on vacation mode.
Here we go.
And ready to leave, right?
Here we go. Okay.
Or Anaheim is on vacation mode because they're at home.
Yes.
The Sharks being on the road, I think, is a little bit better because they could focus more on the game.
Yes.
Rather than being at home and packing up their bags with the kids to get out
and
of
then,
town,
like,
right?
oh, yeah, I'll get to this in a couple hours after this game, as opposed to, I see that.
I could see that. So, I don't know how that's going to go. So, Seattle, let's check out how they're doing in the standings. I don't think they're kind of middle of the pack. They're not great. They're 18th in the league. 21, 18, and 10. They're 5-4-1. They're just mediocre.
Yeah, they're a fine team. Like you just said, a really average team. They played previously, right? I think they lost. The Sharks lost, obviously. It was early in the season. They also lost to Anaheim earlier in the season.
Yep.
So, I mean, we'll see. Would I be upset if
they lost both games?
Once we figure out the new game, like the prize for like a winning streak, that'll influence how I feel about some of these games.
What would you want? How many games and what would you want next?
Do we have to raise it? We have to raise it now because it was 3, so 4.
Yeah,
so 4. What's better than a cookie?
Cupcake.
Brownies.
Brownies.
Okay. 4 wins in a row. Brownies.
Streaking brownies.
What's in these cookies? What's in these brownies?
Oregano.
Oh.
No, not oregano.
Not oregano. Okay. What's in this cup?
Oh my god. So 2 more games, then we go to the All-Star break. The Sharks won't be back until Valentine's Day.
It's like 2 weeks off.
It is
2 weeks off.
I think.
Don't listen to this with headphones on.
I'm chewing here.
ASMR, Aaron.
So we're gonna get more fans.
You can almost hear the cookies being chewed, right? Big break for the Sharks. Also for all the teams across the NHL. So I kind of like they do this. It kind of resets everyone. Everyone's got the bumps and bruises. They get time to rest up, and I think it's a better quality product on the ice because now usually that All-Star break is a good time for obviously the guys that aren't playing in the All-Star game. Rest, reset, and then come back refreshed, and you see a bigger push from these teams because most of these teams are going for playoffs.
True.
So you're going to start seeing the refs not calling as much. It's almost like playoff hockey, right?
True.
The refs won't call as many penalties. Games get a little bit more intense. We kind of see more games go into overtime because teams are pushing back and fighting harder. So there's going to be more points kind of going up in the standings for all teams all around the league. The Sharks, though, are basically going to be playing spoiler. I think we're going to see them kind of collapse going towards the trade deadline, and this happened last season because guys are waiting for a call, right? Waiting for Mike Greer to...
Yeah.
Their phone goes, oh, Mike Greer's calling me.
Yep.
I'm going somewhere.
Yep. I'm going. Yep.
He doesn't call me to say hi, right? It's the boss man is calling. So a lot of times that plays with a lot of people's heads. Mario Ferraro has been in the news for like a month of people talking about him getting traded, even though he still has another year or two left on his contract with the Sharks. He's just a very affordable and one of the better defensive defensemen, at least on the Sharks. One of the best ones in the league too. So there's the human element of it that comes into play of mentality and trying to stay mentally focused on playing hockey.
Yes, giving your best when you know I'm not gonna see the fruits of.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be going to another team. Like
you can't really focus like I need to win on the Sharks team.
Yeah,
it's more individual focused. I need to play well, so either I could get traded, or my line mate is going to get traded because he's a UFA and he's waiting on the call and he's playing terribly because he's gripping the stick too hard. Like just, it's a mental thing. So I think the Sharks are probably going to start, I can't even say they're going to start tanking because they're already kind of towards the bottom, but I have a feeling we're not going to see some good hockey in after the break, after the All-Star break. So it's kind of let me check on the exact date here, but, the deadline I know is in March. It is
6th, 8th?
March 8th.
Okay.
Yep. So once they come back from the 14th, that's less than a month away. It's gonna come up quick.
Crunch time.
Yep. And you have all those GMs like we mentioned earlier. They're all meeting during the All-Star game, so they will be planting seeds for the coming weeks.
And this year it's in Toronto.
It is in Toronto. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of GMs will be excited to be back there because it's in Toronto. A lot of stuff happens there. So, and Paul just said, I don't care that it's still unlikely. I want to be 32nd. Still better chance than any other individual team. Give me losses. I don't think they're going to lose Chicago.
It's a race to the bottom.
It is.
Chicago has a head start.
Yes.
They have a head start.
They have practically no NHL players in their lineup. So... and the Sharks are getting healthier as they come along with Couture and Sturm coming back. Grandin, I think, will be coming back soon. That's really going to solidify their middle all the way up and down. So, and who knows when Ferraro will be back? I don't think he's going to be out long term. So that's only going to help them.
They're going to be too good to be bad.
Yes, exactly.
Too good.
The timing is terrible for them to start getting healthy. The resurgence of Pickles from Grandizer. It's funny. I feel like he was scratched for a while. Mm-hmm. We'll start talking about him for a little bit. He was scratched for a while. Some of it was personal reasons. I know he had some personal days off. He's going through some stuff off the ice. I'm not going to really get into it on the show because it's kind of personal. But I think that now that is kind of settled in behind him, he's been able to focus a little bit more on his... what he's good at, right? And getting back to the basics for him. I think, again, going back to the mental thing, it is a mental thing.
It's mental.
And he is mentally better than he has been lately. So I think that's part of it, and I bet he maybe does want to get moved at some point if possible. Again, why would he have to? I mean, if he wants to win a cup and help a team, sure. But I think we kind of see this last year too, and he was kind of getting scratched and coming back, and they asked him to do a little bit more because I think of some injuries and trades and stuff where they wanted some more offensive output out of him, and he delivered. He was, I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't Erik Karlsson, but he was, and lately he's been scoring and playing better, I think. So I do want to give him some credit for coming back and playing hard and getting out there and not necessarily being vintage Pickles from 10, 15 years ago, but he's not looking out of place. He's not looking terrible like he had been.
And also like the offensive output that he's been able to do, goals, assists, jumping up into the play. That's only going to help I would assume his confidence coming back, like I still have it. Like it's just I needed to get past that rough patch, and now I'm on to doing what I can do.
Yep. And Paul, given the personal situation, he's probably okay uprooting as well. I don't know if that's necessarily true either, because I think most of his family's in Montreal. He's from that area, not exactly Montreal, but around there. And again, I don't want to get too much into the details, and I'm not trying to be cryptic here either. But maybe you could just Google what it is. But yeah, I just saw another comment. I'm not going to read it. I mean, I like Vlasic. I think he's a good player, and I think he can still contribute to some teams. And I think he'd be a very solid, kind of that sixth defenseman, bottom pairing guy that can play defensively and help a young guy, or even be kind of the anchor to a more offensive player that would be pushing.
Yeah, that's the ability. I can hang back. I'll survey the stuff. You go up, do your thing, and then
Yeah. So I think he still has value. His contract is tough to swallow because it is $7 million for another 2 seasons after this. The Sharks do have a retention spot left. You're allowed to have 3, and they've used 2 on Burns and Carlson. Burns has another 2 years. Carlson has another, 5 years?
That's looking a
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
That would be hard to go back to Hassel-Plattner and say, we're going to use another one. So you're going to be paying 3 guys that are no longer on our team for the extension of their contract.
Depends on how many jerseys they sell.
Yes. How many more jerseys are going to come out?
Yes.
Are you allowed to have a 5th jersey? 6th jersey?
We need all the jerseys.
Okay. All the jerseys?
When we play on Tuesday, we wear this one. We play on Thursday.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's any other comments in here. You have anything else you want to add in here?
Thank you for the cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Now I want brownies. That would be awesome. They played like I thought they would play, just not the times I thought they would do it. And so you get the win against the Rangers, awesome win, a top team, and then you get a team like Buffalo, again, very good. And then it's just I've seen that before. Like I would,
effort.
Yeah, I just would have expected the other way, and it's not able to put together 60 minutes or 60 plus minutes consistently, and that's why they're at where they're at. Not at the bottom, but near the bottom.
It's kind of their MO for the season.
Exactly.
Not playing a full 60 minutes.
They're consistently inconsistent.
Yes.
That's perfect. We know what to expect.
Yes.
And sometimes we get cookies. One time we got cookies.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for episode 199. Devereaux, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
And you're going to go home with a lot of cookies.
I'm going to take a bunch.
Yeah. So we thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I hope Paul is better next week. We'll see.
Paul.
I don't even know if we'll be on next week. We'll see. I don't know what we're doing because they're going to be on break. So maybe we'll be on break. But if we're not, we'll let you know. And that's a good time to hit that subscribe button or ring that bell. And so... Thank you. And for super producer Jason, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Devereaux.
And we will see you maybe next week. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help